Welcome again to Democracy Catastrophe. Well, as of late, I've been going through YouTube and I don't even bother um, going to some channels anymore because of the fact that right now, in 2 weeks' time, 12 days to be exact, um, Donald Trump is going to be sworn in as the 47th, 48th president of the United States, and this is his second term, so he's got a term limit. So there's no way in hell he's going for a third term, because if he does, he's going to croak, die, and blah blah blah. But besides facts, we don't know what's going to happen. But in the meantime, in the next 12 days, Biden's as free as a bird to do whatever the hell he wants with the executive orders right now. And and that should not be surprising. Now, let's go back to 2019 and 2020 for a second. Bernie Sanders had the momentum. The media did not want to see anything. They were trying to push for whoever and whomever is wants, but anything but Bernie Sanders. Back 4 years ago. This sort of like mini camps in the DNC were wondering why in the world is Bernie Sanders so popular and they are not. The thing is, you may have all the backings of the people all you want. Problem is wherever the money goes, the leadership will follow. If you don't have the people and you have the money, you really got nothing. Or vice versa. That's the way it goes. What I'm starting to think is there's a general towards trends after an election that was so clearly lopsided. The thing is, when is the right time for a progressive president? And I'm starting to think we may never get another progressive president like FDR, LBJ, Dwight D. Eisenhower, JFK, LBJ. We'll never see that ever in our lifetime. And it's sad to say, and it's happening right now as we speak. You can child-proof presidency from morons like Donald Trump all you want to. The fact of the matter is, there's people that are really competent and are willing to kiss his ass just to get things done for the right, which is basically rob the poor and make themselves rich. That's always been the agenda of the Republican Party. That's always been that. And so what they'll do is they'll put smoke screens, keep people stupid about how our system works, even though they know exactly what they're doing. Now, you got a former president back in 1980 who lost to Ronald Reagan. He was not the most competent president in the world. Except for the Camp David Accords for uh, for Egypt to actually be a neutral partner when the Seminoles came up way back when. What territories that the PLO at the time was trying to get the West Bank and Gaza for themselves, for the Palestinians. They were trying to gear up for that the two state um, uh, uh, compromise. Well, story short, ever since then, all our resources has been tied in with the Middle East, and most of the people that are in government want to keep it that way, in which we are have a vested interest in the oil refineries and the oil productions inside of the Middle East. We have a vested interest. There go. What's going on with not Nahu? I have no idea. He's going to get off scot free because of the 20th. I don't think Bonnie gave a two shits about the Palestinians, but I'm willing to bet he held a grudge against the Palestinians and he wanted the Palestinians to pay for whatever crime that they committed against him, and he didn't care who the casualties were. Am I lying about that? I don't think so. I went over this many, many times with Biden. I went off on tangents on how Democrats are really bad. But at the same time, as I criticize the Democratic Party, I should be building them up. But the more I think about it, sometimes I think they're just a lost cause. Maybe a third party is imminent. Maybe a third party will help bring some sort of stability of America not being such looked at by the other countries as we being the bad guys. But the truth is, we've always been the bad guy. Maybe that's our history. Maybe that's how we, as Americans, have to come to grasp with the fact that their identity is we see ourselves as number one and everybody else is just garbage. If you find yourself thinking in that term and that mentality, the Republican Party is suited for you. It's not suited for the Democrats. The Democrats, they know structure, but they just don't know how to articulate their argument to support what they believe. Well, the Republicans, it's really easy to back a lie. Once you put that lie out there, people are going to believe that lie. And I think Jack and a Kasparian and Felix and TYT are figuring out everything about the Progressive Party and everything about the Democratic Party has always been a shell game, and they're always weak and they're always going to be spineless. I think they've made up their minds that the Democratic Party is a lost cause. And I have a, and I'm possibly on board with that. But for me, otherwise, if I believe that, then my voice doesn't mean diddly squat. I'm out here doing my best for myself, for my family, and I don't have time to go put myself in a vested interest into bullshit and nonsense. The left is fractured. That's just a given. The left is pretty much fractured. It is kaput beyond repair until Nancy Pelosi, Hakeem Jeffries step aside, as well as Chuck Schumer and a few other Democrat heavyweights decide that that we don't need to die trying to hold on to a seat that clearly belongs to the people. The Senate belongs to people. The Congress belongs to people. The presidency belongs to people. We need to realize that we have that power given to by the framework of the forefathers of the Constitution to guarantee those rights in the Bill of Rights. I think the root problem with TYT is they just lost focus. They just lost focus of the problems. They're angry, they're pissed off, they're burnt out, and wondering who else is going to come over and take on the fight. And Cenk he's getting up in age. He's no spring chicken. Anna's up there and she's frustrated as all hell, trying to figure out how to hold TYT together because right now TYT is not doing too well. According to some of the rumors and some of the things that are being said on YouTube. Uh, Whatever happens in 2025. We don't know what's going to happen, but we know that the tariffs are going to be coming up. We know that the tax cuts are going to come and devastate next year's budget time. And guess what? There's going to be cuts all across, and all those cuts are going to end up financing the very wealthy for them not to pay any taxes or actually get some refunds money coming back to them. How fair is that? Everybody's reeling because Donald Trump won the election when Biden had to pull out in June. And I looked at the election and I realized anything that Kamala Harris could have done, she done the best she could. There's really nothing. There's no doubt in my mind that she had the backing of the people. Problem is, Trump came up a lot stronger this time around. The turmoils matter to Donald Trump. Once his time is done, who knows and who cares? If somebody's worried about his health, let the doctor and his family worry about that. He's got a family. He's a grown-ass man. He can figure the shit out himself. So, will I see more things that Trump will do for the American people? I think so. I really do think so. Is that something I really want? No. I'd like to see him go crawl under the shell that he came from and just never poke his face out in the world ever again. I'm of that crowd. So the thing is, after 20 plus years of disappointment after disappointment, and when you get Ken Klipstein out there, David Sirota out there, busting their asses in Washington just to get the news out to to their first to their um, respective publications, and two is get the word out to the other media outlets out there to get the news out front on things like Twitch, on X, on YouTube, on Facebook. They're there just working their asses off just to expose everything that Republicans do. They're not incompetent. And the thing is, it's no coincidence when you have some fresh batch of cookies in front of your face, and all you said you got to do was doing something contrary to what you believe in. Those people I respect. People I don't respect are the ones who say one thing and just do the other. And third, from where I stand with the police, is this. I live in much harmony with them than I was back 5 years, 6 years ago. All because I was just, well, you know. So I hope, I hope both my nieces would actually come together as a family and just hash things out. Any problems whatsoever. Just, just give it to Uncle Chris. See what I can do for you. But in the meantime, in the meantime, what am I going to do differently than I did yesterday? I would like to take it from the Himalayas and just chuck it all the way to my home state, Wisconsin, from Mountaineer, and just watch things just explode. um, I think when you're seeing that TYT is burnout, don't discount or leave them yet. Do not. But if you do go there, make sure your grades are the most important thing in your academic career. I don't know where that came from, but I do think I think I'm starting to fall asleep. I'll leave you with this. Just because TYT is losing viewers or what have you, but I'm thinking what's happening there on Twitch TikTok or FaceTime or what have you. Everybody wants to be part of that brass ring society. I don't. I don't know what spirits lie in between. Well, that's a story for me for another day. But I'm just going to tell you this much. I still think you did a terrific job. I'm talking about Biden now. For watching each other. I think Kyle Kulinski this other guy. Well, the point is, we need, as Americans, to understand that some of our ideas may not work. So, so this is how I feel. When we get calluses and scroll on front, we'll have our engineers in place to get what we want. We held up our bargain. Now it's time for the Democratic Party to deliver.